Well, this week I am back in Chicago and my car du jour is a Mercedes E450 Wagon. And what I'm going to do in this video is a tech check. But you may have noticed this is not my normal alley because I've moved. So what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to start off and show you my favorite tech feature on this vehicle. And it's important because this right here is my garage and this right here is a very narrow alley. So, yeah, let's just get into the check on this week's car du jour, the Mercedes E-Class Wagon. All right, so we're just going to start with you taking the journey of me into my garage space. So I'm going to back up a little bit so that I can get a better angle. And typically what I try to do is get kind of pointed at the edge of the garage and then re-angle the vehicle. And it's funny because as you go up into the garage, you will notice there's some scuff marks on the right side of the wall. Could you repeat your info, please? And yeah, because this is a really tight space. So the thing that I love the most about this is going to be the cameras, because it really shows how close you are to things and, you know, gives you a very good visible alert and a visible look at where you're going and, yeah, what not to hit. Now that we're in my garage space, I do want to point out a couple more things in that this camera is really clear, not only in the bright light, but now in this dark garage, you can see that this is still really well lit up and very clear. I really love the trajectory line. So as I move my wheels, you can see where the trajectory of the vehicle is going to be, and it shows it here as well as here. And then I'm particularly fond of the lines that show up as you are getting close to an obstacle, because it really shows you, okay, can I make it around the obstacle or not? So very helpful when getting into my garage space. Since we have this nice dark environment in my garage, I figured we should go over some of the screens and the ambient lighting. So you know what, let's just start with ambient lighting, because you can see that it goes across the top here and then kind of around this here. And I don't know if you can see it, but it does also go into the back seat. You don't really have it on your floor wells, but you do have it reflected a little bit here in your cup holder. And I guess you can see it a little bit in the floor well here, just not necessarily on the passenger side. So this is very bright. This is very bright. But you can adjust it and you can change the colors and you can you know, kind of adapt it to your personal style. So you go into settings and you have these menu items here that say, you know, assistance, vehicle, light systems. You want to go into the light and go into the light, my friend. And then you want to hit ambient lighting, and then you want to go into manage settings. So right now, somebody has it set on the multicolor, and you know, there are a couple different options for multicolor. And I have to say, I'm typically a fan of pink. If anybody has followed me for a while, I always set up my vehicles with pink. It's just a thing. We'll get into that someday. But you can also do a monochromatic pink, and you can set that up like the way you want it. I actually really kind of liked the multicolor pink. That was kind of cool. So I think I'm going to leave it there. And as you can see, the color kind of balayages, maybe not the word I want, but it changes as it goes around the sides of the vehicles or the vehicle. And I think, I mean, that's just kind of a cool effect where it's not the same color all the way around. So that's interesting. All right, so maybe this is a little bit too much for you. You can change the brightness. So I appreciate the fact that you can have it really bright if you want it, or you can tone it down if you find it distracting, and frankly, you can just turn it all the way off if you don't want ambient lighting at all. But where's the fun in that? All right, what else is going on here that we want to check out? Let's just start with this screen right here and take a look at what is going on behind the wheel. So you have this home button that you hit on the left side of the steering wheel, and it will pop up some different options for you to go through in terms of what your different setups are. So I tend to keep it on classic. But, you know, if you wanted to have a map behind, you can do that. If you wanted to, you know, if you were going to take this off road, you could get some off road screens. I do like the compass behind the wheel. So you have some options in terms of how you configure this space, and like I said, I typically just keep it on classic. Okay, we could also do it on sport. So I don't know, at any rate, you have some options, and I like the fact that this is configurable in terms of what you are doing for the different things. You do also have a head-up display, and I mean, because my headlights are on, I don't know if you can see that up there, but it's a really nice wide view, and I don't find this obstructive or distracting in terms of looking at it while I'm driving. But I like the speedo up there. The speed sign typically shows up, and then you do have some assistance things. So like if I were having directions or driving, it would show there that I would have a turn coming up. So I do like the head-up display, and as you saw in here, you have the ability to turn the head-up display. Still getting used to these things. You have the opportunity to turn the head-up display on or off. Now, moving back over to this screen, I will point out you do have Apple CarPlay, and I do not have my phone. Well, I have my phone connected, but I have it on airplane mode right now because if I have Apple CarPlay engaged and I am trying to record with my phone, it does funny things with my sound. So you do have Apple CarPlay. It does fill out the full screen. It looks really good, and it's easy to use. And I'm going to say this is an interesting thing on Mercedes. So you can use this as a touchscreen, which is pretty awesome. But if you are driving and you know you're a 9 and 3 driver, you can also use the thumb wheel over here to change things as well. So, you know, you can go to your home button, then you can like scroll through different things. And I did play with this on Apple CarPlay, and I thought it was pretty easy to use in terms of what you are doing here and being able to access this screen. So this is not far away. It's really easy to reach. But the fact that you can also just kind of scroll through things here as well, just I like that. It makes it easy. It makes you able to interact with the system the way that you want to interact with it, and I like that. Okay, before we go outside and look at a few other things, I do want to talk a little bit about this right here because, yeah, that is a camera on your dash. And you can enable it or disable it by coming into this little icon right here, and you can say camera on, camera off, depending on what you want to do. But here's what you can do. Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help?
Take a picture of me.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find a storage medium for the recording.
Okay, so you do have to insert a USB port or, you know, some kind of a card to be able to take the picture. But look, yeah, it can take a picture of you. You could probably record video, and I find this very 2025. I don't know. Whole new meaning to car karaoke, but activate it, don't activate it, you do need a storage card to be able to use it. And yeah, that's funny. Okay, you know what, let's go find some light, and we'll take a look at what this looks like without without darkness. Okay, so we are going to go in search of a parking spot, And let's see.
I found these parking options. Where would you like to drive to?
Parking. So parking assistance. Okay, so it found a spot there. I'm going to tap on that. Start parking procedure.
Here's parking assist. Look at the screen for further instructions.
Okay. Press accelerator to check for obstacles. Rear camera image. Okay, this is not the most intuitive system that I have experienced. Okay, so start parking procedure.
Here is your parking assist. Please follow the instructions on the screen.
So we're going to put it into reverse, keeping my hands on the wheel. Hey, Mercedes.
Yes?
How does the parking assistance work?
Active parking assist automatically looks for free parking spaces as soon as you drive below 22 miles per hour. If you want to park, press the button with the camera under the central display, open the parking assistance tab in the camera and parking menu and follow the instructions displayed there.
Okay, so that what we were doing should have worked. It did not work. You know what? I don't see anybody behind us. We're gonna try this again. Okay, I see a space. I'm going to hit the parking assistance. Okay, so it found a spot. Start the parking procedure.
Here is your parking assist. Please follow the instructions on the screen.
It says be ready to brake. So it looks like it controls the steering, not your acceleration. Woo! That was not me. Okay. So it got me into the spot, kind of. Yeah, this is literally not a good system. This does not work well for me. But now that we are in the light and we are in an actual parking space, let's look a little bit more at what is going on here. So you do have some comfort settings, your seat, you know, you can do a seat kinetics.
Seat kinetics is already switched on.
So I could apparently tell Mercedes to switch it on. It's like a little bit of a, like, not a massage, but just like a little bit of a move. So I can also tell the vehicle, ooh, I'm feeling it like lifting my legs up.
I cannot answer that just now.
Again, this is annoying. So let's see, inches, let's see, how tall am I? We will go, I'm about 5 feet tall. And so this does have automatic seat positioning. This has not worked well for me before, but let's see how this works.
I can do things for you whenever you want, such as calling someone, writing text messages, or playing music. Because my heart's in it, I know.
Okay, we're done with you, Mercedes assistant. Yeah, you know, I don't know that I appreciate this automatic seat positioning. I'm going to change the camera angle and let's look at this again. All right, so I want to check out the automatic seat positioning on this, and I've tried it in other vehicles and it doesn't really work very well for me. But this is how I would typically have this set up for me. And frankly, this seat is not as adjustable as I would like it to be because it is in the far forward position and just the tip of my toe is touching the gas pedal. And this is as upright as the seat gets. Now, I would normally want to kind of be sitting more like this. That's just me. I like an upright stance when I am driving. But let's do the automatic seat position. So you go in and you can adjust your height. So I put in 5 feet tall, and then it doesn't ask for your weight or anything like that. But then I'm going to start positioning. So it's going to position my seat and my steering wheel. And essentially what it did is it lowered me and then it moved this back a little bit. This to me is not a comfortable driving position. So not liking some of the tech on this so far. Okay, outside of seat positioning and the fact that the parallel park thing didn't really work very well for me, let's just take another look at what I see behind the wheel because it's brighter out now. So since we just did the seat positioning thing, I guess I should point out that your seat settings are on the side. So I'm just moving my seat forward a little bit, and yeah, the back doesn't go up anymore. But you can adjust the thigh bolster through this right here, and you have like all of your seat settings pretty much right here. There is a button on the side, but that is going to be for your lumbar support. You do have memory settings, and then you also have your heated and cooled seats right there. This does have the Burmester sound system, so I do want to I can't actually show you the sound, but I do want to look at the settings for the
no music playing at
sound as it is. So, going into audio, entertainment, and you do have like a personal sound profile. So
something went wrong.
You can set up your personal configuration. Ooh, okay, the seat is vibrating. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is changing with the sound. Okay, this is cool. I don't know if you can hear half of what's going on here, but this is flipping awesome. Okay, so you can go in and you can set up your personal profile. You can select to pure, you can go to 3D sound. This system is pretty cool. And again, I'm going to tell you, I really am annoyed by this Mercedes Assistant right now. All right, so I mean, you do have your navigation that you can use through the car. You can use your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You can do your various, either the in-car or the, Apple Maps, Waze, whatever your preference is. And I mean, this is okay. This is not Google Maps. This is not Google built-in. It's okay. I use my Apple stuff. What else do we want to say we have going on here? So your radio system, obviously we can't have that on, so we'll just turn that down. But you can, this specific vehicle has Sirius, FM, AM, and your favorites that you can put through here. I like the swipeability of this, and I like the fact that you can kind of go through all of these different things pretty easily. And again, you can be adjusting it with this thumb wheel as well. I'm starting to ramble a little bit, and I feel like I've given you a bit of a tech overview on the Mercedes E-Class wagon. But just one more thing that I want to show you. And to do that, we are going to exit the vehicle. So as a wagon, I really appreciate the long profile of the vehicle. But here's the thing that I like a lot. you do, and this isn't new, this isn't unique, you do have the kick activated lift gate. And so that essentially is very SUV like and allows you to access your cargo area hands free. I was moving while I had this and had a lot of boxes that I was putting in and out here. And so it was just great to be able to come up, kick it open the tailgate, and then, you can press the button up there. But if you were removing something, then you could just kick underneath and then the lift gate closes. So not a new feature, but just a nice thing to have on an SUV like thing where you're probably going to be approaching it at some point with your hands full. All right, as I make my way back to my garage space, I just wanted to give a few impressions, not only about the drivability of this vehicle, but also about the technology. As you saw, we had some fits and starts with the tech because I argued with the digital assistant. It wanted to talk to me when I didn't want it to talk to me. The park assist feature didn't work the way I thought it should. It was a little bit unintuitive. And even when I asked the system to tell me how it works, it just didn't quite give me the answer that I wanted. So I feel like this is a very tech forward vehicle. I like the customizability. I like the fact that you can set this up to do what you want it to do and maybe not do the things that you don't want it to do. It's a little bit creepy that MERCEDES is listening to you pretty much all the time and just wants to talk to you. So I feel like I would probably be turning some of this stuff off because it's a little much. In terms of the driving position, I didn't really appreciate that I couldn't get this exactly where I wanted it. I feel like I'm too far away from the pedals. I'm not sitting upright enough. And yeah, this is not a super comfortable vehicle for me to drive. I will also point out there's a little bit of turbo lag that happens when you are under hard acceleration. But in terms of the overall comfort of the E-Class wagon, it's super comfortable, and I really like just the overall driving dynamics and the maneuverability. The cameras are great. The audible alerts when I'm getting too close to something, those I appreciate. And the camera resolution is also very appreciated. So I don't know. This is probably one of the first vehicles that I've driven that I feel like the tech is just a little bit much and a little bit overpowering, and I couldn't get it exactly the way that I wanted it. I usually find technology to be a little bit more intuitive, and this just wasn't. I feel like I have a disco going on around me. Let me just put this in park and see if we can get that to calm down. Nope. I think it's going to the sound of the music, and I don't have the music audio on. So yeah, we may want to change that as well. So there's a lot going on here is the end of that story. There's a lot that I like here, and I think that there's a lot that I would turn off. So that's what I have for you in the tech check in the Mercedes E450 wagon. Obviously not my best experience. Yeah, stop talking. Stop talking. Stop. Ah, obviously not my best experience. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say to you. I need more time with this vehicle. I clearly need more time with this vehicle, and maybe a Mercedes expert. Yeah. All right, it's time for me to sign off now. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. What do you think of this technology? It's a lot. All right, that is what I have for you on this week's tech check of the Mercedes E-Class wagon. And I will see you next time with a new car du jour.